Most rookie investors waste years chasing the wrong deals with the wrong numbers because they're using the wrong tools to run their analysis. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Busted spreadsheets with the wrong formulas, online calculators that provide a fuzzy picture of what's going on, and God forbid, gut instinct? When you've got no experience, that's gonna leave you broke. I've run over 100 deals through various calculators over the last 12 months. And today I'm gonna share with you exactly which tools, which calculators I use to determine within minutes if a deal is worth buying. And the truth is, you don't need a high-level degree or $200 per month on software, or God forbid, a mentor holding your hand to make a decision whether or not a deal is good or not. You just need the right inputs into the right tool to give you the right numbers to analyze the deal. So let's help you fix that today as I cover 3 of my favorite online calculators. And here's the kicker, 2 of them are completely free. Ultimately, I want to give you options, and so you can choose the right tool at the right fit for you. And of course, I'm going to share with you which one I think is my favorite at the end. Our 3 calculators will be simply ChatGPT, which of course is one of the most powerful calculators right now. Then BiggerPockets, which is the golden standard of calculators, but of course it's not free. And then lastly, we're going to use calculator.net's rental property calculator, and we're going to determine which one's going to give us the results that we're looking for. Of course, the best way to do a comparison is to pick a subject property. So let's look at one right now. Let's start off with our subject property. 5205 Sagewood Drive is a $240,000, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, nearly 1,200 square foot single family house in College Station. I like all of that. It's got a community pool. That's good to go. We'll see what the HOA fees are though. So it's a cute house, blah, 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 vinyl flooring. That's all good to go. Has a good backyard, yada, 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 Meadow Creek. Got it. All right, it's been on the market for 57 days. That means there might be some wiggle room in the price. Single family house. Okay, looks like built in 2013. So it's what, just over 10 years old? That's not bad. And HOA fees are only $29 a month. That is good news for the analysis. Now let's look at the inside, see if we've got to do any renovations. All brick exterior and interior, not too bad. Some mismatched appliances, large walk-in closet, tile surround, interesting paint colors, but otherwise, guys, I'm not seeing a lot. There's that outdoor space. Okay. Well, honestly, I'm not seeing a lot that we got to do this one. Maybe some paint, so that's going to help our analysis. Let's jump right in, starting off with our first calculator. The first calculator, which is ChatGPT. Just a quick disclaimer for you guys. This is not a how-to guide on running your analysis. It's a comparison of 3 different calculators. If you would like the exact prompts and inputs that I'm using, specifically the prompt I'm going to copy and paste into ChatGPT, I can share that PDF with you. Go down to the description below, click the link, drop your email, and I will personally email you a PDF copy of all my inputs and the prompts I'm about to drop into the all-knowing AI known as ChatGPT. Which, by the way, if you're not using ChatGPT 100 times a day, I don't know how you're running your business. I'm in here all the time, but here's that exact prompt. Like I said, I can share this with you. I literally copy and paste it into the input field for ChatGPT. Guys, we're talking about buy and hold properties. We're talking about evaluating over a 5-year ROI. I've got assumptions in here built in for taxes, insurance, maintenance and CapEx, vacancy rates. I don't use property management because I believe in self-managing. We have the loan in here. I also asked ChatGPT to let me know how much more money do I have to put down in order to break even on this property. I need to know a 5-year ROI, so we're assuming 3% purchase closing cost, 4.5% appreciation, 7% selling cost, all the stuff that we're going to ask for, monthly expenses, a breakdown of the cash flow, and of course, I need to give it the input. So the purchase price of $240,000. I'm assuming we're going to buy at the asking price, but you know, hey, maybe we can get a deal. And then market value, 250. Well, you know what? I'm going to tell ChatGPT, I don't know. I'm a newer investor. I don't know what the market value is, see what it's going to give me here. And then in terms of estimated monthly rent, again, I'm not sure. If you're a newer investor, you might not have the pulse on the market. We do know HOA fees. Let me make sure I remember this correctly. I think we were looking at, was it $29? Yeah, $29 per month. Okay, easy enough. get back in here, HOA fees, $29 per month, and we are going to say that we need 10,000 is a little high. 5K, that should get us paint and touch up. That should be more than enough to get it rent ready. Let ChatGPT do its thing, and instantaneously it gives me some results here. So, oh wait. Oh, no, I'm not estimating the monthly rent. AI, you are. I don't know what the rent is. Go ahead and figure that out for me. Go to the various websites, Zillow.com, Rentometer.com. These are all good websites it can pull data from to figure out what the rent rate is, because I'm not going to guess. All right, determine for the average rent for the house in this neighborhood. Got it. And a few seconds later, Zillow report. All right, we have a Zillow, we have a apartments.com, and we have a Rentable and Zumper. So we've got some numbers, and it says 1,700. Here's the kicker, guys. I can usually beat the market average, so I'm going 1,750, a whole extra 50 bucks. We'll see what that buys us. All right. Now we're asking it to do some higher level computing, I guess. It does take a little while for it to put all this together because, of course, it doesn't have these calculators readily at hand. Unlike some of our other calculators we're going to use, it's got to piece this together and do some, computating or whatever it does. I don't know what it does. It's a freaking genius. But after a little while longer, we have some results. Okay, so it's going to give us a nice little chart. It's talking about monthly expenses right now. So this is what you should expect based on your mortgage, your property taxes, your insurance, your maintenance and your CapEx, vacancy rate, HOA dues. All this looks about right. The math looks good. You always want to double check ChatGPT, by the way. So 1,700, just over that, 1,744 per month. And that is a monthly cash flow of $5. But, here's the kicker. We need to put down 47% in order to break even. So we're going to cash flow positive if we put down nearly 50% on the property, which means that we need $112,000. That's how we get a mortgage where it's only $800 and some dollars per month. 5-year summary, let's look at this. So, self-manage all the stuff. So with that down payment, a few closing costs and repairs, we're all in $125,000, and it's telling us that our whole total profit in 5 years would be $45,000, which is $36,000 over the 5 years, annualized at 6.42%. And let's see here, it's asking me if I want to change some stuff around, and yeah, I do. Let's play a what if. Let's do a best case scenario. What if the house was worth $250,000? So we're buying it under market value, and I can get it for $230,000. Again, it's been on the market for a little while. They're asking $240,000. So now we're creating a little bit of a spread here. Let's see if we can make this deal happen. And we might be able to rent it out for $1,900, right? That's way on the high side, but this would be a best case scenario. Let's see what this says for us. So, again, it takes a little while. It's figuring things out. It's the all-knowing, almighty AI, so give it some time. All right, so looking here, we've got the mortgage. We've got the total expenses. The mortgage went up because we can do less down. So now we're making $8 a month, so basically break even. Our down payment is 34%, so that's a lot better. We'll have a lot less money out of our pocket. Actually, instead of $125,000, we're only $90,000 out of pocket. Total profit, almost $70,000. And now we've got a 12% year annualized ROI. That's pretty solid. I like 12% returns. That's going to beat, the stock market, the S&P 500 for the most part, in a solid asset that'll continue to appreciate, principal pay down, plus tax savings, which of course isn't even calculated in here. So I like all of those things, but that took a little time to figure out. So let's see how the other calculators stack up. Just like you need to know exactly who ChatGPT is, you better know what BiggerPockets is. I'll be honest, it's been the foundation for my real estate education since probably about 2015 or 16. I owe a lot to this website, to their forums, to their podcasts, and to their calculators. But there's a kicker. Of course, it is not a free calculator. I think they do still give you a few free uses, kind of teasers, and then you've got to pay to be a pro member, which I am, $32 a month. So we go in here to the Analyze Deals, and they've got a bunch of calculators. Of course, we're going to use the rental calculator, but if you're flipping, if you're doing BRRRR, there's a lot of other calculators you can run. So pretty easy to use. You're going to be plugging in the pertinent information. It's even pulling some stats with the access it has to various data. So filling in the property, and we're going to put in all the little details. What I like about this is because we're putting in these details, at the end you'll see it's going to create a great little PDF for us. And so if we want to share this with partners or our lender, it produces a pretty good form for that. So we're putting in all the important information. Purchase price, $240,000, Gregory. All right, purchase closing costs. So it doesn't really give you much in terms of estimate here. I'll put $7,000, somewhere around 2 to 3%. I'll be rehabbing the property. We said about $5,000, and I'll say it'll be worth $245. Basically, for every dollar I put in, I get a dollar out. That seems pretty fair. So there's a few different kinds of inputs on BiggerPockets compared to what we saw on ChatGPT. 4.5% appreciation. I'm doing 20% down at what did we say? All right, 6.83 is what you get on Mortgage News Daily. That's my go-to source for mortgage rates. So add about 1/4% as an investor for the loan you'd get on 30-year fixed. 30 years. So again, we gotta pull some data in. You gotta know certain websites. So Mortgage News Daily is one of my go-tos. I'll have a link in the description below. And now we're going to, this is linked through BiggerPockets. It is sourced through Rentometer, however you say that. You put in the address, put in some information. It's going to tell you a $2,200 per month, but low confidence score. And a lot of that is because it's using data from this particular neighborhood, but also a neighborhood about a mile away that just rents out a lot higher. So I'm going to look at specific properties in this neighborhood. We're seeing things under $2,000. 1,700. So I'm feeling pretty confident with what ChatGPT gave us. So I'm gonna go back in at 1,750 again. Income growth, again, these are things that weren't prompted in ChatGPT. I'm putting into this calculator. So we can expect our results to be slightly different and maybe more accurate, to be determined. Of course, it's a projection, so we won't know unless we actually buy the place. Property taxes, estimating at 2%. That's usually my rough swag. $1,800 a month in insurance. Again, I'm kind of swagging these things based on experience, but if you're a newer investor, talk to your insurance broker. 5% maintenance, 5% CapEx, 5% vacancy is about what I normally use. And then $29 for your HOA dues. Costs us 7% in the sale. All good things. Let's run the calculator. So it's still got to think, but bam, it is a lot quicker than old ChatGPT. And there's that negative monthly cash flow. Again, we ran this at 20% down, so no surprise there. What's going on with this calculator 5-year ROI? Shit. Well, turns out there's a glitch in the system. I don't know why it's saying there's only a 5-year ROI. Let's look real quick at, all right, something's up. The property value is super stupid low. I definitely fat fingered something. All right, let's go back in here. Pretty easy to edit, and there we go. I put 5,000 as the after repair value, not as the repair cost. So you guys didn't catch that. You should have told me I'm putting it in the wrong field. I do that stuff all the time. Luckily, the calculator makes it very obvious. Hey, something was wrong. Fix it. Swap those two numbers. Let's get back in to our analysis, and now same monthly cash flow, right? Because that shouldn't be affected with this. But now there's our 7.54% ROI and $1,200 a month based on that 20% down. So not a sexy return right now, and we don't love negative cash flow. I usually say we at least want to break even. So let's see what we can do here. We can toggle any of these things back and forth to fine tune stuff. We can see our monthly expense breakdown. I like that. It's easy to read. And then they have some other kind of rules of thumbs and returns that you can look at. And I really like this chart. This is probably one of my favorites. So I can go down here, 5-year ROI, 7%. We want more than that, so let's bump this down as if I purchased it for, like I said, $230. Remember, we ran our best case scenario. That's what we said. We said $230 on the purchase price, and we bumped the rental income. It doesn't go in even increments, so we'll say $19.25. Now we're at 13%. So ChatGPT said about 12%, all things considered. We're still negative cash flow. That's mainly because our down payment was not as much. So let's toggle this bad boy down, 25% down. We're still negative cash flow. I think ChatGPT said 33%, 34%, and that's what we're seeing too, right? So 30% down, 11% annualized return over the 5 years. So we're seeing very similar numbers to ChatGPT. Of course, we can create a nice little report. You go in here, put in what you want, upload a logo, and download a PDF. PDF is really easy to read, very similar numbers. So I would say this calculator is quicker than ChatGPT, of course, because I'm putting in some of these inputs. There's a higher likelihood of fat fingering it, which is exactly what I did, but we can go back very easily and fix it, make the adjustments as required, and then if we want to toggle some of these things like down payments, we can do that to determine the exact ROI we're looking for, be it either cash flow or that 5-year ROI number. So that's all good, but what if there was another calculator that was as quick but free? Which leads us over to calculator.net. Calculator.net. This is their rental property calculator. It is 100% free. And we've got our inputs, $240,000 purchase price. We're gonna put, let's go 20% down. Again, we talked about that interest rate, about 0.25% higher than what the 30-year fixed is according to Mortgage News Daily. Closing costs, we said $7,000. If you guys remember all this, $5,000 in repair cost, after repair value, $245, right? Dollar in, dollar out. We could probably beat that, but that's a good conservative number. Property tax, 2% of the purchase price, plus or minus. Guys, this is quick back of the napkin math, right? We're analyzing properties in minutes, not hours. We got our insurance, $1,800, HOA. God, this number always is a tough one for me. $29 a month, I think, times 12 months, so 34.8. If that's wrong, let me know in the comments below. Maintenance at, I said just $200 a month. That's usually a safe bet, or 1% of the purchase price. Monthly rent, $1,750. Vacancy, 5%. 4.5% yearly appreciation. And I'm gonna leave this at 20 years, although we will be focused on that 5-year ROI. So off the bat, so this is saying over the 20 years, we'll have a 8.66%. This uses IRR, a more confusing number than annualized return and slightly different, but that's what this gives us. You guys can Google IRR and go down that rabbit hole. It's a long one. Anyway, so we're looking at over 5 years, 5.64% IRR, which is very similar to that 6% range that we had when we ran BiggerPockets. So let's jump back in. Let's do our best case scenario. $230,000 purchase. It's worth $255 on the backside. You know, we're getting that 20K spread on the purchase, and we're getting those good monthly rents, $1,900. Now it's showing over 5 years a 13% return. So 11, 12, 13% return. Guys, these are all projections. So there's going to be some, variance in it. But this is looking pretty solid. Except, that stupid negative cash flow. All right. So to fix that, we've got to bump up our down payment. 30% is what BiggerPockets said. And yeah, hey, we're within 50 bucks. Or within 100 bucks rather. We'll call that pretty dang close. Go down to the 5-year mark, and we're back at 12% return. So it's really giving us very, very, very similar numbers to what BiggerPockets is calculating. Yeah, so that's kind of what we get out of calculator.net. Let's see what else we can do here. If we did 33 down, there's our $20. We're gonna call that break even. Oh, we're gonna fine tune this bad boy. 35% down. Now we are cash flow positive, and our annualized return, or sorry, our IRR, those are different guys for whatever reason, is now 11.5%. And again, I can print this out. It's not quite as sexy as BiggerPockets, but it gets the point across if you're trying to share this information, again, with a lender or with a partner. So what did we learn? Well, ChatGPT is probably the most flexible option. It does require some prompting, and don't worry, I'm here to help you out with that. And it's good because it can pull data or answer questions for you kind of live, as if you're talking to like a mentor. But it is going to be only as good as the inputs that you have available. And of course, it is free. And then we saw it does take a little bit more time. Now, BiggerPockets is a great calculator. It's not free, right? You got to be a pro member, but it has all of the questions that you have answered based on the toggles on the side of the calculator. You have access to things like Rentometer to figure out what average rent rates would be, although it's not always a super accurate number. And the inputs, outputs, and the adjustments are very easy. Plus, it's relatively fast compared to the old ChatGPT. And then lastly, I honestly use calculator.net more than any other calculator. It is quick, great for back of the napkin math. The output is very simple. The adjustments are easy to do, although it's not gonna hold your hand as much as BiggerPockets. It's not gonna be as all-knowing as ChatGPT, but if you have some simple ways to figure out rent rates, like Rentometer or just asking your local real estate agent, I can help you out with that. Schwartz Realty Group, that's what we do. But guys, some simple inputs. Once you get comfortable with it, I would probably say calculator.net would be my winner. And it is the calculator I use now on a regular basis. If you like this video, if you're still watching it, guys, you need to hit that like and subscribe button. I drop a new video every single week, so I will be answering more questions about investing and investing here in Bryan-College Station. Our goal is to help you grow your wealth through real estate. And if you want that PDF, if you want that ChatGPT input, make sure you go down to the description below, hit the link, drop me your email, and I will personally send you that PDF. My only real ask, guys, and until next week when I drop my next video, you take it easy.